Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Randy Wineglass, LMFT, Man of Mental Health. Here celebrating my friend's beautiful wedding. This video is going to be on interracial relationships, cultural clash, or love without boundaries. Interracial marriage is the ultimate proof that love has no boundaries, right? Or does it come with cultural clashes? We're here at this beautiful Airbnb. I have my wife and kids here with me. So is interracial marriage, proof that love is just without any boundaries, or does it come with challenges that only the strong can endure? This is my wife Tina here.
Hello.
Where you from, baby?
I'm from China. I'm Chinese.
All right. I know they know you're Chinese, baby, from China. They get that. What part of China are you from?
Shenzhen.
Nice. Interracial relationships, babe. How was it?
We talk about boundary, right?
Right.
I guess like in an intimacy relationship, when about the boundary, I guess like for the partner, you shouldn't be afraid to show your partner your boundary, your comfortable zone, your uncomfortable zone. Just be honest. Like I don't like this. I like this. Like just make things clear and easier, not just let him, oh, he should understand, or think about your partner, he will understand what you need, or he will understand your boundary. I guess it's the best relationship is like you don't have fear to tell people, to tell your husband what's your boundary, like what would you like to be together. I think that's the point.
Right.
Yeah.
Discussing boundaries, discussing limits, cultural differences, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
ensure people, this is my boundary. It's not set a boundary. This is my boundary. Can you understand it?
Right. Really good point. So boundaries. We're out here at the pool. We had my best friend's wedding. Let me switch hands. This tripod is really heavy. So we're here at a beautiful Airbnb here in Hemet. I see that. Let's take a look outside. Really beautiful pad. All right, look at that. How jazzy is that? They got the little bar here. So yeah, interracial relationships, really important to get to know each other and to learn each other. Give you a little bit about my background with my wife. Let's see. Out here in Hemet, look at this background. How beautiful is this? Has the mountain view. Beautiful flowers here. Yeah, so that was some of the things that we had to address was boundaries, expectations for holidays, the values that we're going to instill in our children. In Chinese culture, they're really big on saving money. In the Black community, we're good at saving money too. But for me, I'm good at spending money. I don't know about you guys. I like to save, but I also like to spend. I'm like, I work hard for my money. I deserve these nice pair of shoes and different things like that. So giving y'all some biophilia. So handling external judgment in interracial relationships. While internal harmony is key, there can be some external challenges that can't be ignored, when you're dealing with interracial relationships. People who are staring, and sometimes family members may not be accepting of the relationship, friends. So unfortunately, not everyone is accepting of interracial relationships. You can get some really nasty comments from people. We've seen it all. I want to say early on in our relationship, her mother was like, you got a black guy? There's a lot of stereotypes and stigma around African American men. So, a lot of people are not really, motivated. Beautiful neighborhood families out here living life. They're in their values. So it's essential to build a support system when you're in an interracial relationship with friends, family, or an online community who understand your challenges, who understand what you're dealing with. Sometimes even sharing your story openly can help break some of those stereotypes. So I'm hoping with my story, hopefully I can break some stigmas and, kind of educate you guys on some of the things that, and this is just a part one series on my relationship. We'll be talking more about this, but focus on the love that you share with your partner rather than the noise that's around you. Remember, it's your relationship, no one else's, okay? This is a really important point. Let me switch arms. Carrying these tripods, almost like carrying the barbell. I'm gonna have a good arm workout, guys, doing this, holding this tripod. So building a strong foundation. This is where we're going to go back to your values. Are we going to have a strong faith? Me and my wife have a really strong faith background in our relationship. We both love God. We talk strongly about that. So let's look at how building a strong foundation withstands some of the cultural and societal challenges. With us having a value of faith, it really helps to ground us when people may have negative opinions or negative feedback or it's the stares. I always believe that, all things work out for good to those who love God. That's why I love my faith, because it helps give me hope, and it helps keep my mind positive. Open communication with my wife is key. Having discussions, where we really break down, hey, what's your thoughts about, moving to China or being in an African, relationship with an African American male. What are some of your expectations on family dynamics, parenting styles? She likes to work. She's a very busy woman. She had to take some time off, for our daughter. Empathy goes a long way as well. Try to understand where your partner's perspectives are coming from, especially if they differ from your own because of cultural perspectives. We have some different perspectives on finances. Sometimes, the budget comes first and different things like that. And I might have a different perspective. Create a relationship culture that's uniquely yours. Build your traditions and blend them and new ones that symbolize your unity together. Your relationship may not look like everybody else's interracial relationship, whether you're a black, white couple, black, Asian couple, black, Mexican, black, doesn't matter. You build a unique culture that's uniquely yours. So comment below if you ever experience cultural differences in your relationship. How do you navigate it? How you handle it? Make sure I got the mic on so I'm not just to you guys. How do you handle your cultural differences? Do you have a good support group that you guys, connect with? We're at my best friend's wedding, celebrating love. Really location. We got some biophilia here. It's a nice background. Love beyond labels. Love beyond labels. Ultimately, love is about connection, not categories. It's ultimately about the connection that you share with your partner. So when the love is genuine, it transcends race and culture. The goal is to see each other beyond labels. That's a lot of time what gets in the way of interracial relationships really thriving is these labels, and labels are like cages. They kind of keep people within these bars of really strong thoughts and that are not really facts, but they believe they're facts. So that's what creates the cage. When you believe your thoughts are facts around race and relationships, it creates a cage for you where you can't break free. You're like the caged bird. You can't really break free. So at the end of the day, this is a motivational thought. Focus on what brought you together, not on what set you apart. Love is about building a life together, one that has a really strong foundation, right? One that's enriched, right, by your differences, not defined, by labels, or defined by your differences. So I'm going to end here. Randy Weinglass, LMFT, interracial relationships. It's like almost walking on a tightrope. Sometimes you're leaning to the left, you're leaning to the right. One end is on the differences, the other end is on your faith. All right, you guys stay strong. Leave a comment. Let me know how your interracial relationship experience has been. All right, thank you for checking in. Peace.